Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5:01 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 29th of September. So, how many days we got here? There's not 31 days, is there? Yeah, 30 days. So, on the 1st, I begin my annual Sober October, which technically began on Sunday night because I really don't drink during the week. And really going to crack down on the carbs, and usually I drop between 8 and 10 pounds, and man, I need it. So going into a period of goodness, lots of water, goodness, as we proceed into the holidays. Good morning, Kat. Top of the morning to you. Yeah, you're not kidding. Yep, same here. All right, let's go to the pre-market activity. All right, the dollar, which is what we went into the week. This is the Pimp Mac Daddy chart. We wanted to keep an eye on it. We saw a breakout point failure, meaning we had broken out here above resistance on the 25th, failed to hold on the 28th. And you could argue that what we're doing is we're forming a head and shoulders setup here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Here's our neckline on a 4-hour basis. These are all going to be 4-hour charts. Now, when are we possibly wrong? Well, I'd get worried if we began. I'm going to set up a tripwire here. It's like an early warning radar. If we began to break out above this line in yellow, I would really get worried if we managed to recapture and especially retest this green line here at about 94.46 on the Dixie. And then you're going to see all sorts of jitters, potential turmoil in commodities, definitely jitters in equities. Now, what just may... Hey, Sam, good morning. Yeah, Kat, that happens a lot. You know, when I first started in technical analysis, it used to be a reliable pattern. Not so much anymore. So that's why I always emphasize, I think it's just been figured out. And it's a popular... Larry, good morning. It's just a popular candlestick, and probably with all the technology out there, formation indicators and whatnot, it's the first thing that people go to, and you really need to wait for the breakdown before it becomes actionable. So I agree with you that it's not always a reliable setup. So that's why we set up a tripwire. That's why we wait for the breakdown. How are things over in Louisville, Jedi? I actually looked for one of my shirts this morning that you sent me over. They're in the laundry. I've been wearing them to the gym. As a matter of fact, I just found one in my gym bag. God damn it. I didn't put it in the laundry. One of them is in the laundry. Okay. So what we're looking for here is, again, continuation breakdown on the U.S. dollar. When I went to bed last night, and even when I couldn't sleep and I went back to work at midnight, I brought up a chart of gold, and it was up, and it remains up, but it's off the highs. I like the consolidation here. Nice higher lows on RSI. Price is stable. Now, I wouldn't go adding more. We did go buying more gold miners Thursday and Friday of last week, and that's working out well. But I wouldn't go adding more right now, not until we get a resolution on the U.S. dollar. And in particular, I want to see how we close out the month on gold, because at current, I'm going to bring it up right now. chart. Here we go. Monthly basis. We're trading down below support. And that concerns me. We had broken out here in July at current breakout point failure. We did a retest last month, held this month at current with 2 trading days left to go and a lot of room to make up, to be honest. We have a bull trap. I would like to see it close back above 19.23 the ounce. We just picked up a couple of points here, but we have a long way to go here before we get up to that price point. Sam, on the weekly, there is not divergence on futures. You got to be a little bit more specific, Sam, on what S&Ps and what indicator are you looking at, RSI or? We'll take a look at it. That's what we get together. So maybe you're picking up something that I may have looked at and just really didn't trigger a reaction from me. Jedi, Louisville curfew lifted. City is relaxed at the moment. Still have a few people blocking traffic. Crazy times. Stay safe, my friend. Crazy times. That debate is going to be very, very interesting tonight. I can't wait to see how this thing turns out. Russell 2000 down on the session, about a 0.25 percentage point. Listen, it was a strong day yesterday. Volume could have been better, but it was a good day. So a morning pullback is normal. A continuation breakout would be ideal. There was talk yesterday. I have a couple of headlines I wanted to bring up. This was not it. I'm probably going to do a separate video about this. This is the reason why I got into, or I started the Contrarian Trader, is this ridiculousness. These crooks on Wall Street. The holier than thou. All right, so this one, I wanted to drop this in. You got to watch this. This is just disturbing. We're not going to talk about it. I don't want to get political. View at your own leisure. Make up your own mind. What I really wanted to talk about was this chart here. Article. Vietnam economic expansion growth accelerates on industry exports. There's not much talk, if any, here about benefits from China. But we're watching. I'm going to share this article because we've been talking about the probability of global growth. Why won't they let me share this article? Come on, YouTube. All right, let's see if this works. All right, that's the Bloomberg article. They didn't like the length of that link. Okay, so we've been watching Vietnam for a while now. And look at this. Yesterday, after a nice pullback, we broke out. So I'd like to see a continuation breakout above 1520. We're going to start building a position on Vietnam. It's the basket of emerging market countries. We already have some emerging market ETFs, but I want to get a bit more granular. I read an article about how Mexico is anticipated to benefit quite a bit due to its proximity to the United States from the supply chain shift. Good morning, Paul. Kat, I am told that royalty vehicle on Gold Corp is similar to what McDonald's did with the Chipotle grill. So they're rolling off businesses. I'm familiar with what McDonald's did. That was wow. I hardly remember that. I do remember it though. That was a long time ago. That's right. It's all right. It was a good test of my cognitive skills this early in the morning. So thank you. I think I passed for today. Test me tomorrow again, please, on a consistent basis. I'm working on very little sleep too. Weekly chart. Let's go to a monthly chart here of how we appear poised to close out Vietnam. Yeah, we broke out. We broke out this month, assuming that we don't sell off, but we recaptured support going back to January. Perfect. Very nice. And we are now still down on the year by about 7.5%, but coming back. So Vietnam, very nice. I digress. Let's go back to the pre-market activity. S&P 500. Down on the session, slightly. You needed to expect a pullback here. The Dow, which we've been watching closely, that's down slightly as well. The transports had a really, really good day yesterday. They capitalized on that quarterly breakout. Where is silver? Let's check with the other metals while I see them here, rather than looking later on. Platinum, consolidating gains. Watching for a breakout, RSI validating. Nice move off the lows. Palladium. Very strong consolidation here. Looking good. Consolidating gains from overnight Sunday into Monday. Nat gas. Consolidating gains at resistance. We did break out but failed to hold. So a little bit of a warning flag on the track here for nat gas. Energy overall had a really, really good day yesterday. Oil, light sweet crude. Very close to a breakout on a daily basis. Not quite there yet. When you look at the USO, down almost 1% on the session. VIX. Consolidating, still down below the 20-period moving average, and this support level here at around 31. They're elevated on the futures. These expire in October. So the front month contracts elevated relative to I'm not sure when these contracts expire. Okay, we closed out the day yesterday at 26.19 on the daily chart. But again, I'm not sure. This is the spot price. So we held support yesterday at 25. So Stokes is still weak, possible bottom here. You don't want to see them rally off of 20. That's a pretty strong event. That's a sign of strength. You like to see them dip down, break down to new lows, and ideally break support. Now, what could make that happen is if we get a deal on Capitol Hill and the White House for COVID relief. I was very, very surprised yesterday that Pelosi offered up a figure that would have been very, very difficult. It was a reasonable figure relative to the numbers that they're talking about and what she was talking about originally. $3 trillion, just to over, I think it was like less than $2.5 trillion in coronal relief. At the president, if he wants this market to rally into the election, they just have to accept bonds, 10-year bond price, drifting up higher here, yields pulling back. You saw the opposite yesterday. Banks did really, really well yesterday. Banks even outperformed the trip queues and technology. Sam, do you think Trump will win with his tax problem? He doesn't have a tax problem. He doesn't have a tax problem. But do I think he's going to win? Ultimately, in all probability, will it be for you want to see the voice of the people heard, no matter who your candidate is, right? I wouldn't want to have seen. While I was not a fan of Obama, I wouldn't have wanted to have seen the election determined by the Supreme Court or by the House of Representatives. You want to hear the people's voice being heard. That's a true democracy, a true constitutional republic. When it's being decided by third parties, nobody has faith in the election. And then you go through another 4 years of ridiculousness. And what we've seen these past 4 years is just pure, unadulterated swamp think coming out of Washington and the media. Horrible. So do I think he's going to win? Yeah. But I hope it's that the prevailing will of the people is being heard and not some sort of a decided election for the people. I'm trying to find silver here. And that tax thing is when you take a look at depreciation off of his real estate assets. I know you're over in Italy, Sam. I'm not sure what the tax laws are there. And frankly, I'm not an expert on tax laws here, but I do know a bit about real estate. And if your depreciation and your deductions outweigh the income on your rent, well, then you're facing a loss. And if you don't take advantage of that accounting rule, you shouldn't be in real estate. So that's my take. I don't want to get political. Silver is up, doing nicely. Had a good day yesterday, following through today. A bit. Not really no follow through yet. We're up on the day. We are long of silver. I'd like to add, we're seeing the right things happen with higher lows and higher highs, but I'm just not comfortable yet. So space is doing Virgin Galactic had an awesome day yesterday. Closing just shy of, closed above 21. Oh no, it faded a bit. 2050. We're near 21 in the pre-market. ExxonMobil, what's it doing? We bought a ton of this last week. It was a good day yesterday, a bit of a fade into the close. But we bought it when it was yielding nearly 10.25%. Boeing had an awesome day yesterday. It is lower in the pre-market. Calmaine, very weak this morning. But this is a volatile stock. All right, let's take some chart requests. This segment, as always, is brought to you by our friends over... Oh, that's me. Wrong link. Our friends over at TrendSpider. There's a link below, 35% off if you value automated technical analysis. Blah, blah, blah. Plug, plug, plug. All right. Let me bring up Docu. I had an alert follow-up on Docu. This was a request from Roger, one of our members, the other day. I want to follow up with it. Where's the alert that fired off? I had a couple set up. So, yeah, this one was a retest of a breakout point yesterday. Nice day yesterday. So we had broken out last Friday on Docu. Yesterday we pulled back and retested support. This is what we were looking for on Docu. So frankly, I just forgot that Calmaine, I want to go back here really quick. Yeah, they had reported earnings yesterday. That's the reason for the volatility. Okay. All right. They were up pretty substantially yesterday, but they faded on the day. Or remain long anyway. Okay. Nice retest here. I want to take a quick peek at and a breakout yesterday at that on Docu. I wouldn't imagine there's much data here for seasonality. No, forget that. Too thin of data. Weekly chart. Really, really nice here. So this is definitely on our watch list. The Stokes are beginning to flatten out on a weekly basis. We have a breakout this week on RSI. So Docu is looking good as a swing trade. PayPal is another one. I think I got an alert on that one as well. Yep, it triggered yesterday. So we had broken out on a weekly basis on Monday. I mean, this is beautiful. We broke out, we gapped up higher, pulled back, retested, then rallied off the lows of the day. Awesome. Awesome chart. Daily chart. Here's the gap up, very similar to the weekly chart. We are back above a couple of moving averages here. Looks like we're going higher. We have a breakout in RSI, Stokes rising. Very good looking chart. A bit of a volume shelf above here. 196.68 marks resistance. Where do we close? 192.02. So I'd be fine with a nibble, especially if we retested support yet again. A nibble, then add on a breakout above 196.68. So PayPal looking good. Do I have any requests from... yeah, Kat, and it's really no, it's all right. It's good conversation. Yeah, it's sad to see, but in this day and age, not shocking that in this, if there's one thing that you have to say, and if you're in the old days of liberalism where people wanted the government out of their lives, if there's one thing that he's done is revealed that the speculation that we all had about there being a deep state, a permanent government with their own agenda. I mean, it's been revealed. If nobody could see that by now, I mean, well, then we have bigger problems if we can't just point to all the instances where the guy's been undermined, whether through leaks in the White House when he first got in, to tax leaks, etc. It's crazy. It's really bizarre. Really, what he has exposed, and they've exposed themselves. It's not that he's pointed it out; they've exposed themselves. A case in point: the release of his taxes out of the IRS. So yeah, sad stuff. U.S. Steel, you got in Jeddah, good stuff. Nice move yesterday on U.S. Steel. We added more last week as well. Paul, PRTS. We went over that one last week. It's a good one to go back to. Do I still have an alert set here? I remember when I went over it, if memory serves, it looked pretty good. Let's go to take a look at it now. Yeah. I mean, on the daily chart, we had broken out. I'm not sure what date I went over this. We had broken out on the 18th. Retest 1, retest 2, failure on the 23rd. Pulled back, consolidated doji star here, down day here, recapture of support yesterday. I would like to see a retest yet again to validate that this is going to hold and this is not some porous support level. But I think it's going to. Because when you take a look at your indicators, not that we trade solely off of indicators, they're simply that indicators, all they do is validate our opinion or send us early warnings that, something may be going on here that's not reflected in price. We have a validation vis-a-vis a breakout on RSI, and we have higher lows on our Stokes. So I did have an alert here. It fired off on the 21st. When was that? That was on the retest. So same concept. So I guess I went over it here. I was looking for the retest. We got it. However, not all retests hold, and this one did not. So let's remove the old alert. Let's create a new one. And there's two ways or a mixture of both to enter this trade. Daily retest. We'll keep this active for the remainder of the week. All right, so that's resistance or support level number 1. That's a buy signal on a retest. Now here is another buy point. I don't know whether they're going to let me set an alert here. Let's try it. Boom, they're doing it. Good. So I want to know when we break through this upper band of resistance. Okay, so we have 2 alerts set here. Again, 4 days will keep it alive for. So if we pull back, retest support, that's a buy signal, assuming that we, of course, hold at the close the support level. Then we add more on a continuation breakout above this upper band of resistance. So I like the setup here, looking good on PRTS. Zoom. Lacks relative strength. Time to short. Zoom. Yes, a very valid point that we did not show relative strength yesterday. It was relative underperformance. We have broken down on RSI, but my concern here is that we could just see a double bottom setup or a higher low get put in on RSI and then a hook back up. We did break out. We had broken out. I always do that. We had broken out on Friday. Yesterday was a continuation move higher, but traders decided that they wanted to see a retest at 478, and they came very close. They'll probably try to get it yet again today. I still like the Stokes. Stokes is still fairly strong. Let's throw up some raindrop charts. Yeah, not a wonderful close. You saw a lot of selling into the close. This is a 4-hour chart. It looks as though they're going to try to hold 478. I think that if the market manages to rally off the lows of the day, this should hold. And if you, I wouldn't short it. To answer your question, Kat, I would not short it. It's way too risky. And God forbid they announce some sort of COVID relief bill. You're going to see these names just rip through the ceiling. So I would be very careful here about shorting this stock at current. Let's take a higher level view look at it. Let's pull back to a weekly chart. Well, weekly, forget about the weekly chart. It's only one day here. Even on a monthly basis, if they manage to close it above 478, maybe you get a pullback and a retest next month. If that fails, retest back down to 457. I don't know if it's worth the risk. There's so many other stocks out there worth shorting rather than Zoom. You're welcome, Cap. All right, with that, folks, please, if you haven't already hit that like button, please do so. Subscribe to the channel. And don't forget, hit that link below. There's a link below to getting alerted 15 minutes prior to us going live on Sunday nights and Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll not be spammed. If you're already on our email list, do not enter your email or else you're going to think I'm spamming you because you get multiple emails. So, but Bob, SP. Oh, You want me to take a look at the S&P 500? Our weekly RSI, I'm assuming. Excuse me, my voice is going. Every year this time. We'll take a look at it, buddy. Here, you know what? Let me go to my save charts. So we're going to look at, validate that I'm accurate here. S&P 500 weekly basis, we're looking for a divergence. We don't have a divergence on RSI, nor do we on Stokes. They're fairly consistent. The ultimate oscillator is pulling back or has pulled back, hooking up now. No divergence there. It's trading consistent with the rest of the market. You know, in terms of price, am I overly confident that this week's rally is going to hold? No, I'm not overly confident at all. But to your point, or to your question, do I see a divergence here? No, but that doesn't mean that we don't have one from a higher level view, monthly chart perhaps. Here we do have a divergence. And I spoke about this, I believe it was on Sunday night, where we had, as a matter of fact, it was Sunday night, because we went over the quarterly charts and monthly charts on Sunday night. And I pointed out that we have lower highs on RSI, despite the fact that we're putting in higher highs on price. So in short, it's a failure to validate the higher highs on price. So on a weekly basis, no, I don't see the divergence. On a higher level view, quarterly chart, on a monthly chart, yes. Quarterly chart, yeah, we do. Take note of the lower highs here, lower lows. I mean, this is a downtrend channel on quarterly RSI. And we're just off the highs of the quarter. So it's ominous. There's no doubt about it. It's ominous. So it's a valid point. But this RSI divergence on a monthly and quarterly basis, you know, it takes time for quarterly charts and monthly charts to play out. So I wouldn't want to be worried about going into today's trading day, worried about quarterly and monthly divergences on RSI, because if you were worried about it for this entire span, you would have missed a huge move up on the S&P 500. So it's certainly something to keep in the back of your mind as worrisome. We'll be looking after the election to put on short trades. I have little doubt that we'll be looking to put on short trades after the election. People are saying the market's going to take a hit if Biden's election. I don't buy into that. I think that no matter who gets into the office at some point in time, especially if President Trump gets back into office, this market is probably going to tank. Why? He got reelected. If he wants to do the right thing by this country, he will have normalized rates, cut spending, and the stock market will not like that. I'm going to leave it off on that note. Yes, I'm a Trump fan, but I'm a realist, I'm honest, and I'm giving you my thoughts, but I'll still vote for him anyway because I'm an American patriot. Everybody have a profitable trading day, and be well.